Hello everybody, it's TannerFishies here, back again with a new Ninjago video here on the channel. In today's video, we are going to be once again tackling the finale of Ninjago Seabound, and we're going to be answering the question how each one of the ninja is going to be affected by Nia's tragic loss. Now, obviously, without getting any further into the video, each ninja is going to feel obvious feelings of grief and sorrow. That much has been made very clear, so to summarize, all of the ninja are going to be sad, probably. But that's not my goal for today's video. My goal for today's video is to go through each one of the ninja, as well as Pixel and Master Wu, and determine what their specific feelings might be regarding their history with Nia and their relationship to her. How will each one of the ninja be affected by Nia's loss in the upcoming 2022 season once the dust finally settles? For a quick disclaimer, everything I say in this video is 100% my own opinion based off of past events for Ninjago, so don't take anything I say in this video as a confirmation, if you will. So why don't we start off this video by taking a look at the ninja who will probably be affected the most by Nia's loss, that of course being her brother Kai. Now Kai, like I said, is arguably going to be the ninja that's going to be affected the most by Nia's loss. As Nia's brother, Kai took out pretty much an oath to defend Nia and protect her from everything, and like I predicted in other videos, Kai might actually lose it here because he wasn't able to accomplish this goal. Nia ultimately merged with her elemental power and disappeared to parts unknown. That aspect alone has got to be affecting Kai in a lot of ways. Towards the finale of Seabound, Kai almost appeared in denial for a lot of Nia's goodbye. He was constantly searching for alternatives and other ways to bring Nia back, but ultimately none of those suggestions worked for Nia. She still disappeared without a trace, leaving Kai alone and basically feeling a lot of grief and guilt following Nia's loss. Like I said, Kai took an oath to protect Nia. His main drive for becoming a ninja in the first place was to protect her and save her, but now that she's gone, he couldn't really accomplish that task. I predict that in the next year for 2022, Kai will feel some type of remorse for Nia, obviously, but it might go a little too far. I've already predicted that Kai might quit the ninja team and take up some type of vigilante position, perhaps using extreme methods to take on villains as opposed to the more sophisticated methods of the ninja. But Nia meant a lot to Kai, and it's going to be quite heartbreaking to see where Kai is following Nia's loss once we eventually get to the 2022 storyline. Another ninja that's going to be affected by the loss of Nia is definitely going to be Jay, who of course was in a very serious relationship with Nia for several years at this point. Jay and Nia go back several years in the Ninjago timeline. As soon as Jay was introduced, he immediately had affection for Nia, and that affection was soon shared by Nia as well, meaning that they were finally a couple. Even in Ninjago March of the Oni, Jay and Nia basically became the Ninjago equivalent of engaged, if you will, meaning that their relationship excelled quite a bit since they were first introduced. As such, Jay is definitely going to be feeling the loss of Nia when the next season of Ninjago rolls around. I predicted for Jay that he might end up being some type of hermit. He might not want to be a ninja anymore, and unlike Kai, who will definitely solve his problems with violence, Jay might not solve his problems at all and just choose to sit on them. He's definitely going to be feeling Nia's loss when the next season of Ninjago rolls around. As we saw towards the ending of Seabound, Jay himself really didn't know what to think. He was kind of happy that Nia was able to do what she wanted to do and defeated Wajira in her way, but at the same time, you could definitely tell that Jay himself is feeling some type of remorse for Nia's downfall, and he's definitely keeping a lot of his feelings buried deep inside of himself. I feel like we will see those feelings come to life when the next season of Ninjago rolls around, because Jay himself, like I said, is not a very violent person by nature, unlike Kai. Jay might take it a little bit more personal, and he might shut down completely as a result of Nia's tragic loss. Like I said, alongside Kai, Jay is probably going to be affected the most by Nia's loss, but what of the other ninja? How exactly will they be feeling? Why don't we go ahead and talk about that. In terms of Lloyd didn't really have any big relationship with Nia that we know of, obviously. If anything, Nia was kind of Lloyd's mentor, you know, when Lloyd was trying to first become a ninja back when he was really young, but ultimately Lloyd and Nia have not really had any significant relationship outside of that. Nia has always been a very good friend to Lloyd, and Lloyd is surely going to be feeling the loss of an actual friend here with Nia's departure, but I don't feel like it's going to be as tragic as somebody like Kai or Jay's reaction might be towards Nia's loss. Lloyd, I feel like, is definitely going to be feeling sad about it, but ultimately he's not going to be affected a lot. He's not going to be affected to the point of completely shutting down like some other characters that we've already talked about on this list. Like I said, Lloyd and Nia's relationship is very much a friendship, and as such, Lloyd is going to be feeling the tragedy of losing one of his best friends, and we will see how that's explored during the future of Ninjago, of course. Next up, let's talk about Zane. So in terms of Zane, like with Lloyd, Zane and Nia don't really have any significant relationship outside of being good friends. Zane and Nia have known each other a very long time, and they've always had a very pure and hopeful friendship. There's not really been any feelings of romance or anything like that between the two characters, obviously. They've just kind of been, you know, good friends, and that's all there is. Following Zane's loss in Season 3 of Ninjago, Nia was very much affected by that. I feel like we're going to be seeing the same thing happening to Zane. During the finale of Seabound, Zane was definitely feeling some type of grief towards Nia's loss, but we never really explored exactly how he felt. In terms of Zane and Nia's friendship, it's just that. It's just a friendship. But considering how Nia felt when Zane was sacrificed, I feel like Zane is going to be feeling very similar emotions when the 2022 storyline of Ninjago picks up again. Let's talk about Cole for a second. Cole is kind of an interesting case here because he kind of had a thing with Nia during Seasons 3 and even Season 4 of Ninjago. Obviously, the infamous love triangle for Ninjago is disliked by a lot of Ninjago fans, and as such, the Ninjago show doesn't really reference it all that much, and I feel like Cole might also not really reference his past romantic connections to Nia after her departure. Instead, I feel like what Cole will do is try to support Jay the best he can. We kind of saw that towards the ending of Seabound. Cole immediately tried to comfort Jay and make sure he was okay. Of course, Jay and Cole are best friends, and obviously with that being said, Cole is going to do his best to make sure that he's there for Jay, always by his side, doing whatever he might need. I feel like if Jay does indeed become some type of hermit type character in the next season, Cole is going to be right by his side to be his emotional support. As Nia had departed, Cole is going to make sure that he's there by Jay's side no matter what. Obviously, Cole is going to be feeling emotions of loss and grief as well, in addition to him being there for Jay, because like the case with some of the other ninja, Cole and Nia became very good friends after their whole love triangle debacle pretty much figured itself out. Cole was definitely a big supporter of Nia and Jay, and it's going to be quite heartbreaking to see how he actually handles Jay's feelings during the events of Ninjago 2022. Like I said, I feel like Cole is going to be Jay's emotional support, while still being somewhat emotional himself over the loss of Nia. Now that we've basically wrapped up my thoughts on the ninja, why don't we jump to Master Wu and Pixel. In terms of Wu, we've seen Master Wu basically lose students before. We've seen his reaction to Zane's sacrifice and even Cole's fall during March of the Oni. He didn't really take it well. Even during the finale of Seabound, Master Wu was still very much feeling some type of guilt over Nia's loss. I feel like Wu is going to be the type of character that kind of blames himself over another character departing, much like he did with his past students. He's very much prone to blaming himself, and obviously that's not super great in the context of his character, but I feel like with the departure of Nia, someone who he trained very closely and who he had a very strong emotional attachment to, I think this one is going to mess him up pretty good in the next storyline for Ninjago. I feel like Master Wu will once again blame himself over the loss of Nia, but he will also turn that around and figure out a way to motivate the rest of the ninja. In my opinion, we're going to be seeing a very similar reaction from Master Wu to his reaction to Zane's sacrifice during Season 3. If you guys remember following Season 3, Master Wu basically explained to Lloyd that the loss of a team member will either bring the team closer together or drive them further apart. The ninja have been through a lot at this point, so I feel like Wu is going to be doing everything in his power to keep the ninja team together. He's going to try to motivate Jay to become a ninja again if Jay is indeed going to quit the team. He's going to try to talk Kai out of doing whatever Kai's going to be doing. He's going to try his best to be a leader again, and he's going to be trying his best to fix what he has already. He's going to do everything in his power to mend the ninja team back together the best he can in order to salvage what's left of the actual team itself. I feel like that's very much the position that Master Wu is going to be taking in this next season of Ninjago. Whether or not that actually happens, like I said, remains to be seen, but I feel like judging from his past and judging from how emotional he gets whenever a ninja is lost in battle, I think it's safe to say that this is definitely the route that he will take. He's going to try to salvage what he can, while also trying to motivate the ninja to move on as a group. And finally, let's talk about Pixel really quick. Pixel is probably going to be feeling some type of very strange emotion following Nia's departure because she inherited the Samurai X title from Nia. In my opinion, that's going to cause Pixel to be highly motivated to strive to do better as a samurai in order to better honor Nia's legacy. Nia was Samurai X for quite a few years in the Ninjago timeline, and obviously Pixel is going to try to live up to that legacy the best that she can. I have a feeling that in the next storyline for Ninjago, we might see Pixel go through this type of story arc. We might see her try to develop her fighting skills a little bit more to become a samurai that Nia herself would be proud of following her departure. I for one think that Pixel will definitely be exploring this type of arc during the next storyline because, like I said, she's going to try to do everything in her power to try to bring that legacy full circle and become a samurai that Nia herself would be proud of. And because her and Pixel were such good friends, she's going to be feeling the same types of loss and grief like the other members of the ninja team will. So with that being said, you guys, that's going to pretty much wrap it up for my thoughts in today's video. Obviously, I feel like each one of the ninjas is going to be feeling a lot of emotions during the next season of Ninjago following Nia's tragic loss. Do I feel like Nia will come back at some point? Absolutely, but I feel like we should totally explore how these characters feel and how they relate to the character of Nia before we bring Nia back full circle. I feel like exploring how each of these characters might react to Nia's loss is going to be very crucial towards our excitement for the next season. Obviously, the next season of Ninjago is probably going to be as fast-paced as some previous Ninjago seasons have been, but we're going to have to slow down a little bit to let these ninja heal. We're going to have to slow down to let these characters develop, and we're going to have to slow down to let the characters themselves explore how they feel following Nia's tragic loss. Like I said, I think the characters that are going to be hit the most by Nia's loss are going to be Kai and Jay. Those two might actually see a similar arc progress in the next storyline for Ninjago, but obviously we just have to wait and see what's next for those characters and the rest of the characters that we talked about in this video. With that being said, you guys, that's going to pretty much wrap it up for this video here today. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment down below talking about what you think about this. Which character do you think is going to be affected the most by Nia's loss, and how do you personally feel about Nia's loss? Are you excited to see a possible return for the Ninja of Water? Leave all your thoughts down below in the comments, you guys, and hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you enjoyed, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and check out the links down below in the description for my other forms of social media. As always, big shout out goes out to my Patreon supporters, including once again the marvelous Jan. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video once again. My name is TannerFishies, and with that I bid you farewell.